Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcore Guides, being my guide for Transformers Devastation on Prime difficulty, all character campaign run. Today we're doing Chapter 3 entitled The Core. So, last time we finished off with, I'm guessing in this case, Wheeljack apparently. I should probably double check that and make sure, because that didn't look right. I'm pretty damn sure that, because I did this recording twice. 2 or 3 times, I think. I tried doing this at least 2 or 3 times, and I'm pretty sure that every time I made sure, okay, is Grimlock actually next or no? So, because I think what happened, the reason why Optimus Prime was picked was because I ended up getting, I think, to the end of the chapter in my recording, and then I fudged up somewhere, and then, I think it was like a cutscene I skipped on accident, God forbid, and I just said, oh well. Also, yes, when you're doing the charge run with Grimlock, you can press circle to get out of the tunnels. You don't have to stop in place like I used to, so there's that. Also, I do actually, at this point in time, have all the way up till Chapter 7 recorded. I'm still working on Chapter 7, but unfortunately, I have to fight both Minosaur and Devastator as Wheeljack, and it's caused me a lot of trouble, to be fair. But yeah, so going back to this chapter, I had to do this one like a couple of different times because just a couple different things just were not working for me, and I kept fudging up, especially Thundercracker. Like when I'm playing as Grimlock, because getting to Thundercracker is kind of hard. So one trick I do with Grimlock to get up there is I just jump up in the air when I get close to him, because he won't fly away until I start doing enough damage. And I get up close to him, and I just do a regular square combo. So where he appears, you can just go. I think you can probably go back the other way and just catch him off guard that way. I've never tried the other way, like going backwards, because it's actually pretty damn close to where you just spawn him at. It's just right to the right. That's all we're doing. We're just going around in like one big square. But yeah, getting him, or just doing any of the vehicle stuff as Grimlock is probably one of the harder things of the game to do, to get it, to get it right. Because unfortunately for him, doing the rush attack, like in-air rush attack, is kind of hard. But if you do happen to miss, or if you just want to get like a good, decent, quick catch up on Thundercracker, one other way of doing it is jumping in the air and doing like a combo, or even just doing it on the ground, but just doing like a Dino Square full combo, and it should allow you to do a dash attack. Or not a vehicle dash attack. You know what I'm talking about. Luckily, another good thing is that this chapter is actually one of the shorter chapters, too. If not, probably the shortest chapter, which I think that goes to Chapter 6, maybe that might be the shortest. You'd think I would remember this by now, but I guess my memory is starting to fade because, yeah. But, well, then again, those are things I don't really keep up with too much. I just remember, like, a couple of chapters being relatively quite short. And, yeah, I know I've been playing this game for ages and eons at this point. I should know everything about it, but unfortunately, that's not the case. But anyway, going back to it real quick, Chapter 7 is just, it's a pain in the ass right now. I am struggling so much just to do it. But this would probably explain why I had Optimus picked, not actually explain everything. But this is the technical first real introduction of the big ground soldiers. I always call them ground soldier, even though, like, I understand that there's ground soldiers in, like, that's just a not really a type, that's just the lineage of these characters that we fight against. Like the regular Stunticons and whatever are considered ground soldiers because they kind of act like that. But I call these ones ground soldiers anyway, just by merit, just to make sense. And I call the blue ones blue or yellow and yellow, that kind of thing, just to differentiate between them that way. But yeah, you fight one for now, and then you have to fight the others pretty soon. And I think at this point in time, I did actually go back to the Ark, and I re-equipped Optimus to have a different tech on, because the tech that I had, I think it was called like All-in-One, and it basically made it to where I had like one good ability, but I forgot exactly what it gave me that was good. But I do remember like the main drawback was I couldn't heal from healing items. So I took that off immediately, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is just not going to work. I don't know why I had that on in the first damn place, because it was causing a lot of trouble. But for these guys, I'm using Energon Sword. I'm doing a lot of L2 stuff when I get the chance. I'm doing a lot of dodge into heavy to, well, probably not a lot of it, but I'm doing it here and there, just kind of like knock people away and to get that free vehicle attack. And if they get too bad, you could always just go into your overdrive ultimate attack and just use that instead to save yourself the trouble for having to fight, too many people at once, because it should do like a good amount of damage. Now, real quick about the ultimate attack is if you do die and you don't have a auto recovery, you can restart the checkpoint and you'll keep whatever bar for your overdrive that you have, which is your ultimate attack is technically what it is, but you know what I'm saying. That L3 R3 thing up there at the top, you can build that up over time, even if you do die. So it is something that's actually quite nice, and I'm grateful that we even have that as a thing in the first place. So this part, you have a choice. You can either go to the left or the right, and I pick this direction, which should be, in technicality, the left. If we're going toward it, then you have to do the left side. So I'm going to fight the Seekers this time, because the other side comes with heavy hammer enemies, and it comes with, like, regular ground soldier mooks. So I'd rather just fight the Seekers. They're annoying too, but at the very least I can just avoid them for the most part. Yes, you can go through here and not have to fight them at all. You can just skip this entire fight entirely. I ran down there to try to see if I can spawn the combo, or mainly the combat Seekers, the dual sword Seekers, but that didn't work because you need to have the Energon. You need to have the Energon cube thingy to make that even happen in the first place. But one thing you could do if you're doing this way is just jump down here, which I should have done earlier, but just jump down here. That way you can potentially avoid most of these guys up at the top, and, you know, just an off chance. Like, if you do want to fight them, it's probably better to fight down here because, well, you're probably going to fall down if you're fighting on top of the main platform. At least I always fall down all the time. So you don't have to fight them, like I said again. You know, you don't have to worry about them. If you do have an Energon weapon, you can, of course, hit the cube, and it will basically explode, which will, of course, you know, cause damage to them too. But if you're going for all S ranks, then this is something that you're gonna have to do, and I think you have to do the other side with it. For these ass wipes, you could always just do a dodge, hold, attack to get a potential free break and vehicle attack, because these guys die in about one hit or so, which is nice. As you can tell with the rush attack, you know, it just basically kills them instantly, which that honestly could just be an Optimus Prime thing. Like, maybe he just has so much strength that he can just one-shot these guys with a rush attack regardless. That could be the case. I don't know. I've leveled up my stats to the point where I just kind of completely forgot about them in the first place. Real quick. So, I'm going to have some decent advice here. What you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to spawn in, if you have ultimate attack ready, you're going to want to go over here and spawn these guys in. You're going to want to get all of them to spawn in. And when you do that, get them to all kind of, you know, ground up, go for a focused, you know, dodge, and just go for an immediate ultimate attack and just clean house if you can. Of course, as you can tell, like, I didn't completely kill them all, but I know for the most part what I'm doing. And just keep dodging, you know, don't worry about your whole, like, oh, I'm going to run out of stamina if I keep dodging. Don't worry about that. If you're playing Optimus Prime, keep dodging and then use your L2. If you're playing Optimus, then that'll work. If you got an Energon weapon, this helps out massively too. If you don't, if all of that fails, just do a dodge into hold triangle or hold square and go with the vehicle attacks that way. Still got an S from that, of course. But then again, I probably would have actually had double S if I had not taken any damage. And I think we're pretty much like almost done with the chapter. I think all that's left now, I believe, is Blitzwing. So I think that he fights here. By the way, yeah, I threw that because you can, as far as I know, technically speaking, if you do throw the cube into the circle, it should theoretically activate the cutscene. However, I think I threw it just slightly a smidge over. Okay, it was Starscream that we fight. I kept this in because, well, you know, it shows off his name. I might as well keep it that way. Alright, so Starscream is probably one of the more annoying bosses of the game to fight. You have to fight him at least twice. And his first fight, not too bad, but his second fight in the space is just a pain in the dick. So, yeah. I do the drive rush hold triangle move. So whenever you're doing like a vehicle attack, or not vehicle attack, but when you're doing that rush attack, you can hold triangle, and then when you hold triangle, you can, you'll see like a spark, and when you see that, you're going to want to start mashing triangle right after, and it should give you this punch combo ability. It's something you have to buy, though, for your ability stuff, so do keep that in mind. That's something you do actually have to purchase. But other than that, yeah, Starscream is relatively pretty easy, just loudspeaker. Again, I know I say he's a pain in the ass, but it really depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. If you got loudspeaker, it definitely makes it a lot easier to deal with him. But the only reason he's a pain in the ass is because if he flies away, he just becomes a lot more annoying to deal with. And he's especially more annoying, I think, in like Chapter 6. Or Chapter 5, Chapter 6, whichever one it was, I think you fight him in. Again. But luckily this one, not as bad. But depending on what you're doing and who you've got, you know, or what weapons you've got and all that stuff, it could prove to be quite fairly annoying, to say the least. And now we get to actually fight Blitzwing, which I thought, yeah, okay, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is the one where he shows off his name tag. So, Blitzwing fight, the first part of it, not too bad at all. Just shoot anything, you know, don't worry about trying to attack, just constantly shoot. If you are playing Grimlock, though, do bear in mind that you will be using Fire Breath, and it's a lot easier just to go for an attack than it is realistically for the Fire Breath. But if you're playing a character like anybody else than Grimlock, then you should have that automatic machine gun thing that, unfortunately, you only get to use here. But you do have that infinite automatic, you know, machine gun ability to allow you just to get nice shots. Yeah, I fell off. I know. But there you go. Not a bad fight, really. Just keep shooting at things, and eventually somebody will go down. And now we lead right into the actual next fight itself, which is... Yeah, I was going to say, we have like a couple minutes left. It should be going straight into it. This is going to be a hard fight. Blitzwing is hard, but he's not nearly as hard as he is until like Chapter 6. I think it was. That's when he gets to be way worse. So do bear in mind that when you're fighting him, if you do go into a dodge, into focus, he can still combo even after you dodge and hit him. So watch this. See how he's winding up another punch? Yeah, basically he is a armored enemy. He just cannot... you cannot stop him from going for attacks, for the most part. I'm sure there are some stun stuff, but the thing is with him, even if you do stun him, he can still technically attack you, even during stun. So do bear that in mind, that he is going to attack you no matter what you're doing to him. He will always constantly have an attack ready. And now once you get that, I think that should be a checkpoint. And he'll transform into a tank, and then he'll eventually just go straight for a burnout move, where he'll try to burn you and also just, you know, dive toward you. That was a parry. Parry is just you hit the button. You hit the stick in the direction that the enemy is or was attacking from. You can catch his missiles, by the way. However, I never really do it much. Which reminds me, real quick. So I did find out that, yes, Wheeljack's shield does have use, but I still don't really use it very often. But it does actually have usefulness to it that extends mostly to just frontward combos. But if you're playing Wheeljack here, you can actually use your shield to catch a missile automatically. You don't have to actually try to do the missile catching ability, which I think is just a parry. I think in order to catch missiles, I think you just have to hit forward in the direction. Which, luckily, parry in this game is actually not that hard to do at all, really. I don't do it, it's just that it's actually much more easier than, say, like Bayonetta and other games. Although Metal Gear Rising having probably the easiest one to do, but that's beside the point. I'm talking about, like, the frontward facing, like, hit stick in the direction type thing, is what I'm basically talking about. But for the most part, Blitzwing, again... It's really just a matter of dodging, and understanding that he's going to always be going for an attack. He always has priority for going for an attack. And even if you were to vehicle attack, it doesn't really matter. If you got loudspeaker, great, because you can go for a stun. But even if you do get a stun off, there are times where he can still attack you during that. So, again, be careful with that. And with that, yeah, that's basically it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time for more Transformers Devastation. And, of course, as always, take care, everybody.